mitzvah, I remember, I think most of you know that the earlier days of mine and Yehuda's childhood, we lived here in Jerusalem. And I remember when we were actually younger than David is now, we used to come very often, almost every third meal of Shabbat. We lived not sure exactly from here, this way, 5 miles from this area here. And we would come almost every third meal of Shabbat, just the Rav, my mother, and me and Yehuda. And we would do third meal by the wall in Jerusalem. And it's just amazing to sort of to think about how that, 20-something years ago, and where we are today. And one of the things you realize, and I'm still, it's funny, they always ask me, until when is my mother going to continue to call us the boys? But I assume probably until 60, 70, right? But then as you get older, which we're not, but a little bit older, you begin to realize that you don't really sort of grow up, because I can envision myself and Yehuda walking here with my parents and walking home from here at the end of Shabbat, like that was a week ago. And now then we're here with our kids celebrating David's bar mitzvah. And one of the things I think, how much the world has changed, how much I think we've all changed, how much the center has changed and grown. And one of the most powerful and beautiful things about my parents is that none of what has happened, both I think in the way me and Yehuda were raised, and the way the center has grown, with a plan. That's one thing I think about my mother, there's almost never a plan. But when you don't have a plan, usually the light of the Creator comes in. And everything that we see now, whatever good has come out of Yehuda and myself, our families, it's because my parents didn't have a plan. And because they allowed the light of the Creator to come in. And I was thinking about David and his bar mitzvah, and then in a few months my son's bar mitzvah, and you talk about parenting, as Michael mentioned, sometimes you never really think you're doing enough, sometimes you think you're really messing up, and sometimes you think you're doing okay. But the truth is, and this is probably the most important idea, when the prophet Samuel was born, we know that his mother was having trouble having children. And then she asked for a miracle, and she got it. And Samuel became a tremendous leader, and prophet was born. But when he was born, she said something very interesting. She said, Kol yamav hu Shaul laHashem. All of his life, he is the Creator's. He is not ours. And when I think about the way my parents raised me and Yehuda, and our families, and our sisters, is that said or unsaid, that was always the consciousness. We're not here to be your parents, and you're not here to be children or adults to this world. If anything good will come of you, it is because you are God's, which means your purpose in life, our purpose in having you, the purpose why we have families, why we have lives, why we do what we do, is for one purpose. Because we believe that we each have a job in this world, and that is to change the world as we know it. That the pain and suffering and death that still unfortunately exists in this world will come to an end. And if there's anything else about our lives except that, you never know what's going to happen. But if you remember, and this is probably one of the most important lessons I learned from my parents, Kol yamav hu Shaul laHashem. The only reason we have children, the only reason we live, is because we have one singular task in our mind: to reveal the light of the Creator in this world, to bring an end, to paint suffering and death. So, Davidi, I know that's your parents' thoughts, and may you merit to truly have that light, and not really your parents, not even your grandparents, but the light of the Creator with you always. Love you.